Hello and welcome everyone. This is the Founder Scoop. My name is Jacob Lee, and today I have with me Bryson Schellenberg and Nairobi Perez. Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're excited to be here.
All right, so guys, give me kind of like a little preview of what your business is. What is it called, and what do you guys do?
So our business is called Soda Shots, and I brought a couple here so people can, you can
Yeah.
visually see exactly what it is. So it's a single-use liquid pack that you pour into your soda to flavor it. So it turns it into like a DIY soda drink that you get from one of the soda shops. Except, the reasoning is it's just a lot more accessible than having to always go somewhere to get your sodas. You just buy these at the store or online and we ship it to you. And you just have it really wherever you want. At home, in your purse, in your car. Just to, everybody's all about the sodas right now. And so we're just trying to capture on, the retail side of things and just make it easy for everybody.
Cool. So it's kind of like one of those like lemonade packets?
Yeah,
for
so
soda?
you can feel it. Here.
I gotcha.
Yeah, it's a liquid pack in there.
Oh, it's liquid. Oh,
It's
that's
liquid.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's very similar, but yeah.
We experimented a little bit with powder and stuff, and just with soda, you kind of have to shake your powder a little bit, which you don't want with soda.
Right.
So liquid was really the only way that.
I guess that makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And so do you pour it into like carbonated water or like...
You can put it in like club soda. We've made it for soda, so like Pepsi or Dr. Pepper or Coke. So you just pour it directly into your soda, 12 to 16 ounces, which is the most common size people have at home. And then it just customizes your flavor for you.
That's really cool. All right, so where did this idea come from? What got you guys started?
So yeah, I was actually living in Germany with my wife. I was going to school out there and I did an internship out there. We were there for about a year, but I wasn't a huge soda drinker, but my wife was. I knew as soon as we got back to Utah to finish school, she'd go straight back to Swig. It was so delicious and spend like $4 or $5 on a soda.
The addiction continues.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Not only that, but we were in Germany and we didn't have it.
Right.
It's just not out there. So I just thought there had to be a better way to do it. And then I realized, there's nothing like soda shots on the market. I did some research. Of course, there's like Crystal Light or all your other water mix-ins, but there wasn't anything like soda shots. So when we moved back from Germany, I got started on it my last semester at BYU, and it just. So that's kind of where the idea came from.
And do you have like a background at all in soda, other than your wife's?
Well, I don't know
addiction?
who has a background in soda. I guess you could say, anybody that is a Swig addict has a pretty extensive background.
Every restaurant he went to, he would just ask for soda.
You're very qualified.
No, I studied supply chain management at
Okay,
BYU.
that's cool.
So, not so much product development, but I was able to, get some suppliers and get stuff worked out.
And remind me, why were you in Germany?
So I went there for an exchange program. So I actually did a semester of school out there. So I took some classes.
Wow, that's cool.
They were all in English. I didn't take any German classes. And then after that semester was up, I stayed one more semester for an internship out there.
Gotcha.
So I was there for about 11 months with my wife.
That's really cool. And it was all supply chain focused?
It was all supply chain focused. I could have gone other places or done like the study abroad where you travel to like 6 different countries, but I really just wanted to immerse myself in an economy where supply chain was a big focus, and Germany was a great option.
That's really cool. So how do you enter the equation?
Oh, I think I entered just like time after with just like the marketing. So I just came in looking for an internship, and it's so funny because I came here to iHub and I gave Daisy my phone number and my email and all my info, and like I went back home and like literally like 2 hours later I had like 4 phone calls, and one of them was from Bryson, and I met with him with Soda Shots. And I just like could see where the company could like go, and I saw the marketing and what I could do with it. So that's what I came in.
I love it. That's super cool. So when was the inception of the idea? Like, give me a timeline.
So I was in Germany throughout 2023. Towards the middle of 2023 was when I started thinking about it, and then the end of 2023 is when I started working on it when I came back to the States.
Gotcha.
So it was a very slow process throughout 2023 and 2024 because I graduated, I had a full-time job, had a couple kids, so I needed a little bit of stability until we could figure out a better path.
Sure.
So we just bootstrapped it, went to farmers markets, did a very slow validation process just to make sure that it was a product that people wanted before dumping a bunch of money into it. So, I put a lot of time in it, farmers markets, throughout the summer of 24, just getting validation.
What did that validation process look like?
It was just making sure like it was a product that people were actually excited about and people wanted. So, we would offer samples at farmers markets, and whenever people would have a sample, they would love it, And as soon as we ran out of samples, like it was hard to push it because with a food or a drink product, people love to try it before they buy it.
Of course, yeah.
So we just made sure that there was good, consistent demand and repeat customers throughout farmers markets. We had people that lived in Chicago that would fly to Utah, and while they were here, they would go to the farmers markets and they would come find us to see if we were still selling.
That's awesome.
And so, just finding good repeat customers that would come back. And so that's kind of how we did it. It was very slow and time consuming, but we didn't have to put a lot of money into it, which was kind of the goal.
So walk me through how you made the prototype.
Yeah, so our very first prototype, there were actually 3 other partners at the beginning that helped me with it.
Wow.
And so...
And who were they?
So one of them, they were all students at BYU. We met in a BYU startup bootcamp class, 1 credit, 1 week. You just have an idea and try and, ask some people and validate it. So, there was Aaron Earl, Seth Mortensen, and Porter Ballard. They're all still students at BYU. But the first week, it was a 1-week class, so we went and knocked doors and tried to sell the product, and we sold a couple of these, soda shots, and we didn't even have them. We just told them that we were taking orders for it.
Oh.
And people oh yeah, we'll try it. So we got 4 people to buy it.
No way.
And we promised delivery the next week, so then we had to figure out how to make it.
You had a week to... So what happened in that week?
So we all got online and started finding stuff. We went out and bought, the individual syrup bottles and started mixing and testing flavors, and we bought a bunch of packets off of Amazon that we could fill them and seal them, but we didn't have a heat sealer. So, one of the other founders went and asked their girl neighbor for her hair dryer, and we sealed it with the hair dryer and slapped some stickers on there.
That's crazy.
So we were able to fulfill it, I think by, the Friday or Saturday. So that was the very first prototype, and it was, very rough. We were
That's impressive, how quickly you got that pulled together.
Yeah, I mean, we would we'd pour the syrups into a bowl and put a syringe in the bowl and get it to the exact amount we needed. So it was very, very, rough around the edges.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, we got it pulled together pretty quick, and then ever since then we stuck with the main prototype until our, official launch 2 months ago, and we just slowly, added extra steps to make it better, or better stickers or better packaging or better heat sealer. So we're kind of with our prototype or our beta product for almost 1.5 years.
Wow.
Until we officially, launched last month.
So tell me about the launch. How did that go?
It was fun. It went pretty good. The marketing has been really, really good. We tried to know how to target the target market in a way, which is mostly women. So I think it was pretty fun. I was okay, if I could, if I was to be scrolling on Instagram, how could I stop and be okay, I need to know more about this, which it was very challenging because I was telling Bryson, so I don't drink soda. But,
and
you work with a soda company
and
now.
I work at a soda company now. But it's so interesting because I tried, and my first time trying soda shots was on water. And I was But then I tried it on Dr. Pepper, and it was actually really good.
Yeah.
And I was So now I can drink every now and then soda.
That's cool.
But I was okay, what is it that I like about soda shots, and how is it that I can make the people like me love the product and see like I love this. So I think I just like started making my imagination running. It is very hard for me to explain, but I trying to get some inspo from Pinterest, from other companies, see what they do, and just see how can I get the product placement everywhere. We've been trying to do like reels, get all my roommates, all my friends involved. I am a huge believer that the more people that you get involved, the more impact you get on social media. So that I believe that was a huge impact when we started launching the new campaign. And so far, that's something that we're still doing on our social media. Um, it's been so fun. I'm enjoying doing it. I think sometimes when I'm doing the reel, I laugh at the stuff that we do. I'm like, this is so fun. And if I'm having fun, I believe that the people that are watching it are also having fun. So it's been so far, I believe, pretty entertaining to see, pretty fun, pretty colorful. Yeah, I'd say.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your growth strategy then? I know in Utah, soda shops are super popular. Do you feel like you're competing against them?
A little bit, yes. Most of our online sales actually come from outside of Utah as well.
Really?
Yeah, which I didn't think would be the case.
Is it your friends in Chicago that keep spreading the word?
No. I think it's, people follow a lot of Utah influencers, and we send a lot of packs to micro influencers just for free.
Yeah.
They get something to review, we get a little bit of exposure, and people follow them from all around the country. So most of our orders come from outside of Utah.
That's really cool.
And we have quite a few in Utah as well, but it was something that surprised me. It was like, how many people out there want to try these sodas, but they just can't because they're not accessible. They don't have them where they live.
That's really interesting because I've heard that like soda shops don't really work outside of like Utah, Arizona, Idaho, that kind of area. And so it's kind of cool that you found a way to market to people where the soda shops aren't really having success.
Yeah, I think they are having more success now. I think it just took a while for everyone else to catch on, and not everybody's going to try it. But, with the last few years, with TV shows highlighting dirty sodas, or all of the big influencers, everybody's always got a swig drink in their hand. I think everybody sees it and everybody wants to try it. So I think the soda shops are having a lot more success outside of Utah, but it's still, they're still expanding. So
that makes sense.
They haven't like hit their market cap, or they're still trying to figure out what works for them too.
Yeah. So then, do you guys like ever intend to go like in stores at all, or is it only if you direct to consumer?
So we're actually in 4 grocery stores right now.
Oh, really? That's awesome. Which stores?
So we're in Peterson's Fresh Market in Riverton, Reams in Springville, Lee's Marketplace in Heber, and Days Market in Provo. So they're all local grocery stores here in Utah. And from the beginning, it was always my idea to get into grocery stores because people won't drink soda shots without soda. So if we can put the soda shots as close to the soda as possible, right in the soda aisle, then they'll buy it. And they have been, and it's been great. We've only been on shelves for like 2 weeks, but, we've restocked one of the stores already. So
that's huge.
No, it's been great.
Good job, yeah. How did you make those connections?
I just called the stores.
Just call the stores,
and I've been working on it for over a year actually. I called them about a year ago, probably last May, and I said, hey, like I've got a product called Soda Shots. This is what it is. I'm looking, I'd love to talk to your grocery manager for some feedback on the product. We're local, just trying to get in stores, and everybody said, yeah, let's meet. We're happy to meet, because with the local grocery stores, they're also looking for new products to put on their shelves as well. So it was actually super easy to get in contact with them and just like say, hey, this is it, like we're not ready to be on the shelf yet, but like what advice or feedback do you have for me on the product? And kind of over a year I took their feedback into consideration, and I would meet with them once or twice more to like show them what I've worked on and some progress, just to keep them in the loop and feel like they had, they have a little bit of time investment into it too, and they have some interest as well. And every time I met with them, it was great. And then went back a month ago and I said, hey, like our product's done, it's ready, like it's commercially available, like let's get some orders rolling. And they were all like, yeah, let's do it.
Wow, I love how you involve them in the process of like developing the product. By the time that it was ready, they already knew you, they trusted you, and so it's just really easy to get in.
Yeah,
It's
no,
impressive.
it was really good, and I didn't meet with them, all of them, like continually. There was one store I met with once, and then I didn't meet with them again till it was ready. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you're finally back. Like I've been waiting for you to come back." So like he remembered it. It's
That's
a
cool.
very
Yeah.
unique, one of a kind product. And I was like, "Yeah, sorry it took so long. Like almost a year later, but we made it. We're back. We're here."
That's super cool. So where do you see this company going? What's your long-term vision?
Ultimately, I see Soda Shots being like the name brand for single-use soda mix-ins, because there's so many companies out there for, coffee mix-ins, coffee flavoring, and like water mix-ins and water flavoring, but there's nothing out there for soda. The only thing out there is Torani, or like, Da Vinci syrups, but then you have to buy a whole bottle, and if you want to mix flavors, you have to get 3 or 4 bottles, and then they just sit in your pantry for 2 or 3 years, and just, they get gross and they just sit there forever. So I think once we be successful, we'll see competitors enter the marketplace. So we want to be the name brand that everybody tries to follow.
Yeah.
And with the first mover advantage that we have, we're on shelves now. We're still the only ones that I'm aware of. Then, we've got that advantage secured for now.
That is super cool. Wow. So let's take a step back. What kind of got you guys into entrepreneurship? Why are you building a business?
We'll start with Nairobi. She's probably actually been doing this for longer than me, entrepreneurship.
Yes. I've been really involved in entrepreneurship, I would say, since my family. All my family are entrepreneurs. My dad, my aunts, my cousins. So yeah, I you would say like there's entrepreneur in my DNA.
That's so cool.
So my dad, it's so interesting. My dad's story is really incredible. He started being an entrepreneur since, I would say, 8 years old, 9 years old.
Wow. So
Okay.
he was really young when he started.
Yeah, he was very young because he lived in like really extreme poverty in Mexico. So, and he started with 3 pesos, which is like nothing.
Wow.
So he had to like find a way of living and
Yeah.
find a way to eat. So that's something. So he started building an empire from something. And then my aunt also basically the same thing. They all my uncles started like finding a way to invest in some type of thing. And then my years later, my cousin started like a jewelry business, and I was gonna go on a mission. And when I came back, she's like, "Hey, wanna jump in with me?" And I'm like, "Oh, sure, maybe." So I came in with her and I started doing the marketing and I did some investment with her, and we were so amazed how well it did.
Yeah.
And then I had to move back to Provo.
Was that your first like business opportunity that you dove headfirst into?
Yes, that
That's
was my
awesome.
first one. And yeah, so it was actually so fun because I was like, yeah, it's gonna be within the family, so why not? And I came back to Provo and I was doing stuff from a long distance because they're on Mexico. And it was actually pretty cool because I was pretty scared because I invested a lot in the company.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang. It was some part of the money came from my trust fund.
Oh.
So it was like, what if it doesn't work out? And it did. But it was kind of like really miraculously. But it was a really nice product. So I would like to say that it sold by itself. And the investment came back and it doubled it. So I was able to pay for my own scholarship,
Oh, that's super cool.
for my own tuition without a scholarship.
Yeah, and that's why you came out here to Provo, right?
Right.
For school.
Exactly. So I was like, dang, maybe I could start pursuing something like this. And then I was like, maybe I should study entrepreneurship at BYU then, because my parents are like, just give us a degree. Just I don't care we don't care what you study. As long as you give us a degree, that's the only thing we ask from you. So I'm like, okay, bet I'm gonna study entrepreneurship, I guess. So there was that, and I guess I started like working on some ideas on an app called Spot Me that was like finding gym partners or people to go to the gym with.
Oh, nice. It's
And
a
I
clever
started-
name.
Exactly. Because my roommates did not want to go to the gym with me, so that was the pain point. But I started validating it because there were just like some personal things going on in my life, so I was like, I need to take a break. So that was just my pause from starting my own business. And then with my own cousin, I was like, I feel like I'm not in Mexico all the time, so I'm gonna take a pause from that too. So I was like, okay, now I need to get back into business.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, if I made this with my company, with my cousin's company, then I think I can do it again with another company.
Yeah.
So that's why I came to iHub.
That's
And I was like, I hope I can talk to Corbin. Maybe he's gonna guide me through something like that. And that's when I came to Soda Shots, kind of. So that was my journey
That's
of
super cool.
entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of background on how I met her too. She came in looking for an internship in marketing. So I interviewed her, for an internship in marketing, but I'd seen her resume and knew that she'd done a couple of entrepreneurial things. And I was actually in the process of looking for somebody to help me with, marketing, but in a co-founder position.
Yeah.
So I'd already interviewed a couple of people. I was literally in the middle of the process. So I interviewed her for the position, and then I kind of blindsided her at the end. I was like, hey, just so you know, a founder opportunity here at Soda Shots is on the table too. And kind of talked to her a little bit
That's
about
crazy.
that. And I think
Wow.
just blindsided her a little bit. She wasn't quite expecting it, but...
So how did you feel when he offered you the co-founder position?
So I was like not really, like I was expecting something like an internship obviously, but not quite like something like that. When he mentioned it, I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. Honestly, I was like, okay, yes, sure, but is this real?
Almost couldn't believe your eyes.
Yes, exactly.
That's cool.
So I was like, did I understand that right? I don't know. Like I still don't even remember what I was like thinking about that day, to be honest. But yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
interesting.
Super cool.
Mm-hmm.
So Bryson, what got you into entrepreneurship?
So throughout my whole journey at BYU and going through college, I had an entrepreneurial mind but never did anything with it. So I just had these ideas kind of piling up, sitting in the back of my mind. And it wasn't until I was in Germany with my wife, we actually had our first daughter out there. And, people are like, oh, you're living in Europe, you should go travel everywhere. And we're like, we have a newborn, we literally can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, I have the time, I'm at home all day, I'll just, work on one of these ideas. And so I started my coding. I learned how to code. It was an app I wanted to make.
Nice.
And, by the time I got back from Germany, I had this whole app prototyped. And it was a functioning prototype. And then when I went to the BYU Startup Bootcamp class, you all present 3 ideas and you pick one that they wanted to work on. And I was really hoping everybody else would pick this idea that I'd already spent 8 months coding. And they're, oh no, we like the soda idea. And I was like, okay, that was my second option. We'll go with it. So anyways, yeah, when I was living in Germany, I realized how much opportunity there is in America to, for entrepreneurship or to do something, outside of the ordinary. Because in Germany and in all of Europe, it's very structured. It's very risk-free. It's very hard to get ahead there, especially with the way, their taxes and their laws are structured. It's just so much easier to do it in America. And I realized that. I didn't realize it before because I'd lived in America my whole life besides my mission. But, on your mission, you're not thinking about business. So I got back to America. I was like, hey, like, this is my last semester at BYU. Like, it's either now or never. I was like, hey, like, all right, let's just jump in and see what happens. And so I took the class, and we all started working on soda shots, and now, we're hoping it goes somewhere.
That's cool. So what's going on with this coding project you put 8 months into? Are
Yeah.
you still working on that?
It's on a file on my computer right now, somewhere gathering dust. I don't even know.
Is it like, is that something you want to look into later on?
Maybe one day. Not right now. I mean, I've got like a whole list of ideas in the back of my head. Like, okay, if soda shots doesn't work out after a couple of years, I'll just move on to the next idea. And that app's just on that list right now.
Yeah.
But my main focus right now is soda shots, and we've got a great product, a really unique product that people love. So why not jump forward with this one?
Yeah.
I just don't want to split my mind in too many different ways.
That makes sense. So, what has been probably like the biggest lesson that you guys have learned thus far? I know you've only recently joined the company, but what are some lessons that you've learned?
You want to start?
Put me on the spotlight. I think I've learned with like the marketing and posting is just like how different products are depending, and how different markets are, even like if they're women, because we target mostly the women. I was like, with the jewelry business, I was like, maybe it could be sort of the same, but it's not. I was like, maybe I can do the same thing. And it's so interesting that I'm trying to do sort of like the same thing, like, women in a strategic way. I can do similar things, because women, you can get to women through something aesthetic, through the eye, but I've seen that you can't. It has to be through another strategic way with because this is a very unique product. So I realized that I have to keep testing the waters, keep trying something different until I nail what is it that our customers want. Every product is different, so you need to really put effort and the research and devotion to your product, and time and effort to see what works and what doesn't work, because it's not going to be the same for every product, every person. Everything is going to be different for depending what you want to do.
I learned a lot about, I study supply chain, but I learned a lot about like actually how a supply chain works once you're running your own supply chain. Just everything from sourcing the product and like always trying to find everything different, and just good business practices for contacting customers overseas. There's a lot of nuances and stuff that you don't know until you just jump into it, and it's something that you can learn over the years slowly. If you go to college, they'll teach you this stuff over 4 years, which is a long time to learn something. And I went to college, but I would say starting a business, just learning all of those things, just jumping into product development and product testing, and figuring out everything that you have to do, it's a lot, especially with a food product. Now we have to like be regulated and have certifications and stuff, and like trying to learn how to get inspected for those. And you just don't know what you don't know until somebody comes and hits you with the like, hey, you actually need to get your product certified, or FDA regulations say this, or like your label has to have this letter in this size. And so I wouldn't say there's one like thing, cliche, that I've learned, like, if you want it, go get it. It's just like so many little things that are specific to my business that it's like, it's hard to explain what I've learned without boring everybody.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, do you guys have any last advice that you'd give to people that are looking to start businesses themselves?
I would say it's easier while you're younger because you have less risk. You know, you have more time in your life. It's just like any investment. The longer you can invest in it, the less the risk goes down. You know, if you start something when you're 50, if you're well established and you have money, then that's great. You know, you can go ahead and do that. But most people nowadays are living paycheck to paycheck and can't afford to do that. And you know, if you don't start your business, if you don't start that idea that you have, if you think it might fail, well, it already failed if you don't even try and start it. So what's the difference between trying to run it and even if it does fail, at least you know, you can check that off your list instead of always asking yourself what if for the next 30 years. I think that was the biggest thing for me was, you know, for 2 or 3 years I sat around like, oh, I should start a business. Like, oh, what if it fails? But I just think I would have a lot more regret if I never even tried. You know, even if I do fail, at least I'll know, okay, like I failed, like I can mentally clear that load out of my head and, you know, move on to the next thing.
I love it.
I was gonna say that one. Something my dad always says was to put yourself in places where you can find opportunities. So, well, he would like go everywhere he could that he knew there would be people that could help him. So that I feel like that's something I always think of every morning. So when I came to iHelp, I was like, I knew there could be opportunities here. When I applied to school, I knew that BYU had an amazing business school. So I guess just like putting yourself out there, I think is just the best way to network, to find people that are gonna help you, to find ways to get from point A to point B. I think it's just an amazing way for any entrepreneur, because I think any advice is good advice, and you never know who you're gonna meet. You never know who's gonna help you. You can meet someone that's gonna who's really good at marketing, and they're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna start an app, I can market it. You're gonna start something, I can help funding it. So I think it's just, if you don't get outside of your comfort zone, if you don't get outside of your room, those things are not gonna come. You need to go out. So
I love it. That's some great advice. Speaking of networking, where can people go to learn more about soda shops and you guys personally?
We have an Instagram, we have a TikTok and a website. Just go on our website and our Instagram, see what people are saying about it. You know, just learn what it is and try it for yourself.
And what are your handles?
Instagram is the Soda Shots and TikTok is Soda Shots, and then our website is sodashots.shop.
Gotcha. Oh, that's cool. I love it. Everyone, go check them out. Thank you guys for coming.
thanks for having us.
Woo! Woo!